two, one, and we are live. Welcome, everybody, to another meeting of the Pirate National Committee. Much like Russia, after that weird coup attempt or whatever happened with them, I am surprised we are still standing, but we are. And it is time for another wonderful meeting. I am Anthony J. Porter, the chair of the United States Pirate Party, and I am going to get IDs from everybody else. Drew, you are the first person I see.
Drew Bingaman. I am the vice chair of the Pirate Party of the United States and also the captain of the Pennsylvania Pirate Party.
Thank you, Drew. Next up is Joe.
I think Joe currently has some sleeping children. Yep.
Oh,
Joe just
okay.
wrote in the chat, Joseph Wondorowski, Treasurer, Hellion, and MAPP Rep. That's Massachusetts.
All right, that works for me. Michael, you're the next person I see.
Apologies. Hi, I am Michael, currently eating Taco Bell. I am the scribe of the PNC, and I'm from New Jersey, still trying to get a New Jersey Pirate Party running. So if you're from New Jersey, please reach out to me on Discord and let me know if you want to help.
And bring him Taco Bell.
No, Taco Bell's not obligatory.
All right, Yari, you're next.
We have fun here, and I think Taco Bell should be obligatory. But anyway, that's not a platform position, to be clear. Hello, Yari, aka Rose Klein. I am the current representative here from the California Pirate Party. That's it. That's pretty great. Right now on a research trip, um, uh, realistically for my own research as with my other stuff, but at the same time, I'm right now in Indiana, and I'm going to be in Massachusetts. So in a way, I'm getting to meet with other pirates, and I'm getting to see not only about the organization of other pirate parties, but also about the various issues that other states have, and get a bit of perspective on the issues facing California, which is fun and fancy.
Yari learned that in Indiana, our city urban planning involves a lot of very hot, very long tunnels to make the city walkable instead of just making the outside walkable. So now Yari has that experience, and I was really happy to share that with him.
Yeah.
Mitch, you are next.
Hello, Mitch DeVillo, driving, but what else is new? I am representing Chicagoland Nye, the Illinois Pirate Party, and I don't have any titles, not no more.
Yes, thank you, Mitch Liberated DeVillo. All right. Those are our introductions. We're still in a training phase, so we still don't have too much of a solid agenda, but there is one item or way of looking at things that I want to get to. Before we get to that, we have officer reports. Who do I want to call on first? We have a few officers here with us. Drew, has anything happened with the office of the vice chair?
Not much. I told a bigot to basically go F himself. You know.
You know what? That I'll take it.
You know, because they filled out the form on our website about the contact, and basically just came on to be like, yeah, like I'd support you guys, except you guys support LGBT stuff. So I won't. And then they called everybody in the LGBT community groomers, and I was like, yeah, so that's not cool, not happening. See ya. We didn't want your help anyways. So if I couldn't be more clear on that, so
It's funny how often that happens. Someone will come to us like it and be like, well, man, I would support you guys, except you believe in all of these things that are very obvious for people with your core values to believe in. So like because of the fact that you believe in your own core values, I will not be
AJ,
helpful.
yeah, we're the pirate party. Okay? This isn't some stuffed shirt friggin' thing. We are the pirate party. We embody the spirit and the real pirates of the 1700s, of the golden age of piracy, So I would never tell anybody that's LGBT and whatever, or GSM, make it easier, that they were not welcome here. And just because that's how they identify, that's insane. That is the most anti-pirate thing I've ever heard of, honestly. So I am, anybody, do the research. It's out there. Pirates were not bigots in that way at all. They were actually some of the coolest people in the world at the time. So I'm not, I'm just not going to put up with that. So I'm not sorry about that position at all.
Well, thankfully, I don't think any of the rest of us disagree with you.
Yeah.
I think it honestly is fair just to call it a core values violation.
Absolutely. Yeah. And anybody, seriously, and this is to anybody else, like sending that type of a message to our web server, like just because like one or two people get it. It's not like it's going out in public and you're going to, score one on the whatever. You're just going to get a nasty response or nothing at all. So, and I don't know what kind of karma that you think you're gaining by sending such stupid things to people. So
yeah, it's like I sent an email to this minor political party with like a couple hundred members max. Yeah. I have truly defeated the woke mob. Like, what's the thought process there?
I don't know. This is my problem with a lot of people. I don't understand why are you doing this? So anyways, that's I guess that's my report.
All right, Treasury report. Anything from you, Joe? Okay, I can read this out for you. Joe said we had another small deposit a few weeks ago, no expenses. PPI meeting happened, and we were discussed about at length. We also discussed Ukraine funding and meeting notes. When you say we were discussed at length, what does that mean? I'm interested. Was it like positive, like man, we love the USPP, or was it man, we hate the USPP? Like, give me a summary here. All right, Joe said it was positive. Hold on, sorry. It was positive. They wanted to know what we were doing. Excellent. I'm happy to hear that. All right. They also wanted to see if we needed any speakers. Oh, that we could really put them to work sometime. We haven't done a man, that's a good idea. We haven't done a non-conference online event with speakers since 2021, and honestly, that one was like a lot of our first project. So frankly, the Patriot Act thing wasn't very good. I would be really happy if I would be happy if we did something like that again. So maybe we will need speakers in the future. Michael, secretary report.
Not much new secretary stuff. At least in terms of it, secretary specific, but hopefully, Yari, hopefully we can touch base and discuss things soon. To kind of get more grounded in my role as secretary. Make sure I'm doing the right things and not doing the wrong things. So, yeah.
Excellent. No worries about that. We're still kind of in a training phase. Is there anything, since we only have 2 non-officers here, I will ask, Yari, Mitch, anything to report from your respective states or areas of the world that are not committee related?
I got nothing in terms of Pirate Party stuff, but I just wanted to tell Yari that I was not in Dallas like I thought I was. The location was actually Oak Creek, Wisconsin. So I was not in Dallas. That's really it. That's my update.
I have friends who lived in Oak Creek as well, so much smaller though. As for reports, no, not really anything. I think I'm excited to get Michael, I'm excited to meet with you sometime. I ideally I'm freaking exhausted today because I just finished up the conference, but in the next couple days if possible. And then I think we can I don't know, we'll figure out stuff. We'll figure out stuff. What am I trying to say? Yeah, I don't think I have really anything to report. I think it's just like I think it's getting things running. And I think the past few weeks have been like really crazy busy for me between travel and moving. So
Understandable, I think.
All right. Thank you as well. Moving on to committee reports, I hear we have a outreach committee report that was sent in from about a week ago. Is that correct? All right. Would anyone like to read that out for us or read the summary?
Yeah, I have the email pulled up, so I can share that since it was sent to me as well as vice chair. But since I'm already speaking, I will share that info. Outreach committee met asynchronously on Tuesday, June 13. So I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. And many of the members that have been involved with recruitment, or many members have been involved with recruitment in state socials, and lots of work is being done in terms of blog post creation and other outreach tasks. And yeah, there's also a link to an open business list, but I seem to not have a GitHub account at the moment, so
That is all right. Thank you.
I can't really read that, man.
You're good. Well, I mean, that's the sort of thing that will make its way onto the public record eventually.
Cool.
Maybe that's a very a wishy-washy statement, but we're the party of transparency. Someone will do it. Are there any unofficial reports or comments about any of our other committees? Going once, going twice, and sold. Okay, that means we have no other reports, but I need to ask first. Are we ready to close discussion and debate on reports, or do we have any last notes? All right. Seeing that all of you are very, very excited and just revving to go, I'm so sorry to say that we have to close report discussion. I know this
Hey,
is
look,
a massive blow to
AJ,
morale.
I'm excited and ready to go. I'm just well, I'm tired, but I am also. Yeah, let's move on from reports. Done.
All right, we're moving on from reports. The only thing we have on our agenda right now, because Michael is still getting trained in the art of agenda creation, which is perfectly all right. Take your time, Michael. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm sure there's an entire bachelor program somewhere for agenda creation.
Just so you know, we are going to keep kicking you while you're down. I mean, AJ, come on, man.
What? I'm sorry. I don't mean it like that.
Just it's all cool, man. Michael jumped
So
into
what's
this
on the
thing.
agenda, AJ? It's talking about the next 3 months, yeah?
Yeah.
Listen, I need it sometimes. It's fine.
It's okay. I mean, no, I'm more or less. I'm talking about AJ harping on it here now. Like,
Oh, I know.
I
That's
feel-
what I agree.
No,
I agree.
no, that's not.
it just seemed like it's been a lot now. So
I've been misconstrued. I don't mean it that way, Michael. I promise.
You're fine.
I don't know.
I
keep
just-
hearing
I
it,
just-
so like
I say I say things, and then I think about the direction that those words have gone.
it's
All
you
right,
know,
all right, all
I'm
right.
just-
It's time.
It's
We don't
fine.
need-
You can
AJ,
stop talking now.
AJ,
AJ, the organization is doing fine. We don't need more excuses for our existence. We're doing great.
We're
Let's
fine.
keep going.
I agree.
Well, I don't think this was related in excuse. Okay. 3-month plan.
Yeah, we want one.
That is the topic of discussion. We are nearing the end of June, so I think it would be good to focus on what we want to do July, August, and September. We've got a new board, we've got big plans, and we're kind of trying something new. I mean, obviously, planning is not new, but I think structured planning for our organization is kind of new. So I'm just going to try it this way. What should we do in the next 3 months? What can we do in the next 3 months, Mitch?
So I would like to see us continue to do the state outreach program, where we just take the states from a certain region and sit down over Jitsi, discuss what each state needs, based on what they already have. When we did that for the American Mediterranean region, it was very successful, I thought. Even though we don't have representatives from either state, it seemingly got Florida and Texas on board. And though their absence from this meeting may not indicate anything or may indicate everything, I don't know. I think that they're successful, and I think we have to continue with that path. I wanted to do it this month. Obviously, things kind of got chaotic, and we were coming off the conference. So if we could do it like mid-July, that would be awesome. That's my number one suggestion, is just getting the regional outreach for the different states over the next 3 months. I think that would be a very obtainable and easy goal to achieve.
All right, that's something that we should write down. Yari, you're next.
On that note, Michael, could I ask you to actually just like make a list of the core? It doesn't have to be like the everything here, but just those like that. Like that would be an item as we're going through this.
Yeah, I'm trying to sign into Word on my MacBook because
Okay.
I was signed in with my school account. I'm in the
Okay.
process of that.
I want to, because I think, Mitch and AJ, you have a really good point. Like that over the next 3 months, that would be really useful. And I think, per what Mitch said, that would be a nice, like an easy. I mean, not necessarily easy, but like it's not. There's a low bar of success there. It's been done before, and it is something that really energizes the organization because it's on that state level. I wonder if if it would behoove us then to drop the idea. I had proposed previously having an event at the end of the 3 months, like some other online event. And I wonder if instead of that, it would behoove us to invest fully in these regional outreach meetings, and to oh, I was gonna say something else with that. Shoot. I don't know. At least part of that is like, just to invest more fully in those regional outreach meetings, and maybe to start, getting those states set up. I think that's really useful.
Thank you, Yari. We will tag back to Mitch.
Two things. Just on the points that Yari just brought up, you mentioned a big event at the end of the 3 months, and while I think you're leaning more towards the just focusing on the outreach, I would like to remind everyone that Talk Like a Pirate Day comes in September, and I think that would be a great time to do an event for Talk Like a Pirate Day, and I have said it last year, and I'm going to repeat it. I would like us to reach out to Marcus Rediker and see if he will sit down with us for Talk Like a Pirate Day. That would be ideal. That would if I could control everything, that would be exactly how I would have it play out. And the second point is I think we should, at some point soon, have a vote and discussion on the 2024 in-person conference location. So we can knock that out right away. And whoever is on the conference planning board, which we have some people who are already on the board and people who have, and I said I would chair it, and I'm still going to chair it. It would just give, everyone the opportunity to call ahead, plan ahead, really give us a year's worth of preparation to make sure that it goes right.
All right. Thank you, Mitch. I think part of what I'm going to want to do is, Michael, don't worry about keeping up with this. I'm also going to try and keep some of this stuff. I'm so sorry. Did that sound bad again? I'm trying my best here.
You're fine.
What I'm trying to say is that I'm also writing some of this down.
Thank you.
Because what I'm going to say next is I think we should try and categorize some of this stuff, right? Like, this all sounds like outreach-related plans. These are things that we're going to see if the outreach committee wants to pick up and work on. And if the conference planning, that's more general, right? I mean, some organizations have, year-round conference committees. So what I'm going to do is I think we need to compartmentalize this a little bit. We have outreach plans, right? And I'm going to put down below that, we want to focus on more state outreach things, and we want to think about talk like a pirate day. Once we get through this conversation, I want us to pivot, and I want us to start thinking about maybe a different committee or a different function of the organization and try to create a plan for that part as well. But I don't think we're quite done with outreach. My question for outreach, yes, Yari, I'll go ahead and let you get to that. There's something regarding the outreach meetings that I want to get to, but you are on first.
Oh, I wanted to let you finish.
Oh, okay. My question is, how many regional meetings do we want to do within the 3 months? Do we want to do 1, 2, 3? How many different regions do we want to tackle? 1. Okay, Joe's vote is 1. How's everyone feel about that?
I think Mitch was suggesting.
What was the question again? How did you frame it?
How many outreach meetings do we want to do in the next 3 months? Like, how many are we fitting into the 3-month plan? Regional meetings.
I, once again, were in charge and planned every detail according to my vision, I would say we should do an outreach meeting 1 every month for the next 3 months. So that would be
okay.
3.
We have a vote for 1, a vote for 3. Mitch, I would assume that you would be, since you're an outreach committee volunteer, I would assume that you would be able to assist with those. So I'm going to think in a way you probably can fight for your way. Like we said, action lies with those doing the action. Mitch, sorry, I think I cut you off.
Oh no, I was just saying. Well, this can be considered outreach. This is a project that I undertook when I was Swarm Care Manager, and I would like to think that this is still a Swarm Care Manager centered position or duty. So, in the absence of one, knowing how to run it, I'm more than happy to continue to run it. And, I would be more than happy to teach people how to run these meetings. Not that there's a learning curve or anything like that, but I think that having these meetings, it would only make sense that the Swarm Care Manager, whoever's acting as such, is the one who's there making sure the meetings are running, not necessarily having to be the outreach chair. I think it'd be better if a board member was the one who was actively running that meeting and actively being able to report back. That's my stance on that issue.
All right. Yari, you
Can I
had
jump in?
something to
Yeah.
say. Yes.
Which is I think I think there are definitely ways that it can be useful to frame the different things here we want to do in the next 3 months and even beyond that as relating to different parts of the organization. And also, I think it would behoove us, especially in a meeting when at first we are coming up with just our goals and just our ideas, and doing more of the brainstorming. I think it would behoove us to think of the what we want to do and the function of it not as related to a specific structure. And AJ, I heard a little bit of this in what you were saying as well, where you said, the function of it is outreach, right? And I hear that. I agree. I think what I'm concerned with is that if we specifically connect with this and say like, oh, this is an outreach thing, then I don't know. I guess I don't want to limit our brainstorming to outreach things, then IT things, then platform things, because like these events, as Mitch was just saying, like are not specifically related to outreach, and they could involve the entire organization. I don't want us to limit our vision of these ideas of these events to just being an outreach thing. They could involve everyone in it, right? And so, and I think they have in the past. So, uh, yeah, I just I don't I think we can think of the different functions of the things, but
And just to that point, I just wanted to say that these meetings were designed to where the regions were together, because you may have regions that have states that don't have state parties, but you would also have state parties that may already exist in that region. So when we inevitably do like the Northeast or the New England or whatever, however we frame it, I fully expect Joe or Jamie or Misty to show up, because that is an ideal tool to have to any questions you might have about forming a party. Here's someone who's been in the game for how long and running a pirate party. I think that yes, outreach committee should probably have a big hand in it, but I think that these are very much swarm activities that the whole party should be able to participate in.
I've heard both of you loud and clear, so we will try to not get too compartmentalized. The reason why I wanted to compartmentalize a little bit is just because we do tend to focus a lot on outreach, and that's very good. I want us to continue that, but that does just mean that sometimes plans for other things get neglected. I know IT would really appreciate both maybe more direction and more help, because they also don't get a lot of help. So I just don't want to neglect any part of the organization.
yeah, I suppose to that point, that's a fair point, and thank you. I think that's just a part of like, oh, I think that's not an issue of events, though. I think that's an issue of IT and um, speaking up and saying, "Hey, we need help." The members of Outreach, yourself included, AJ, have been very good at being vocal about that. You know, so I think that's really the major difference there. So in that vein, I will say, it would be great if we could, in the next 3 months, really streamline the pipeline, which we're already working towards, but like solidly streamline the pipeline by which people um, uh, are able to uh, put things on the blog, put things on the wiki, be added to either, and access information on support.us pirates. I think all of those things feel like they are urgent enough that they should happen in the next 3 months, and we've already started work on them. And it's a matter of getting the extra hands to finish them up.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that we could benefit from putting the streamlining of, I guess, basic contributor accounts on our sites as a good IT goal.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the streamlining and access of information.
All right, I think that's good. Michael, you are next up.
Yeah, two things. One, I just want to make note. I saw that Joe had said something about let's do a YouTube video with guest speakers. I don't know if that was a suggestion for the next 3 months, or just something in general, but that was something I saw. And the other thing, my suggestion for the next 3 months is continue being supportive of like Pride and LGBTQ and other like marginalized groups. You know, like especially like LGBTQ. Like we're in the month of June; it's Pride Month, but the support for us should extend full year and not just for 1 month. And I think we should break the mold out of the typical corporation trope where they change their profile pictures for just 1 month, and you know, like just for example, like you know, keep the profile picture full year ? But also just continue to be supportive and just not make it a 1 month thing.
Oh, that dude, the Twitter profile picture we have now goes so much harder than our traditional
Oh,
logo.
for sure. Yeah.
Like it looks great. No, I'm in
Looks
full
so
support.
beautiful.
I want to keep it for a while. It looks so much better. Just like even purely aesthetically. I think V made that, and I think he did a really good job. I think that is the Pirate Pride logo, but also one of the best versions of the logo we have, period. Mitch.
I actually I lost what I was going to say, so you may move on.
That is all right. Do we have any goals for? Is there, because we've talked about doing more things in person, we've talked about tabling. That is generally, you know, difficult, especially since we don't have, outside of Massachusetts, have much just set up and ready to go. Do we want to make an ambitious, you know, goal for doing one in-person event this 3 months, one USPP thing, or just get one other state to do something in person? Yari, it seems like you have thoughts about that.
Well, I do have thoughts about that. And first off, no, I don't think we should. Um, uh, um, I mean, maybe that's just because I'm tired right now. Um, but also I wanted to share some of the things that people are saying in the YouTube chat because I think they're important. And some of them are suggestions, so I think that's useful. We got make a Kanban board. Yes, we should. I think that's actually really important and a goal that IT should be. I mean, okay, again, this doesn't have to be a specific IT thing, and now I'm like sequestering the goals that I'm put. You get the idea. This we should be setting up some sort of um, organizational systems like that, right? Doesn't have to specifically be a Kanban board, but if we get something on the books like that right away, it'll make things easier. Um, because this group of people right here, like if we're not having a group chat, if we're not having a task management when we're not on here, I think it does make things more difficult. Um, and then also, V says, what if we made a GIF of all the flags, of all the pride flags, which I know is not specifically a suggestion for the next 3 months, but it could be, and I like it. In response, AJ, to your thing about an in-person meeting, I don't. If it's gonna be an in-person meeting in the next 3 months, I think it could be a regional in-person meeting, which Mitch and you and I were kind of talking about when we were together. I do think there's a lot of people in the Midwest, and I think having a regional in-person would not be a terrible idea. Or trying to organize that, but I don't know if that's something that the national directly facilitates, or if that's something where it's just like, hey y'all, do it, you know.
All right, I hear you, Yari, with everything, and yeah, maybe that's not a because I mentioned something like getting a state or a region together. When I think about throwing that suggestion out there, I'm thinking, okay, we're still a small enough organization that I think a regional plan can be discussed in the PNC as part of our 3-month plan, right? So I guess that is kind of what I was thinking was if a region wanted to do something like that, we should, of course, offer them our critical support. The other thing I was going to say was, yes, we absolutely need more. We need more communication, I think, from the PNC throughout the week, some kind of Kanban board or something. I know that's what the Discord server was originally meant to be, but and we've used that as that before. But I think as time goes on and it becomes more of a social place or a place to just generally, for the committees and states to generally gather volunteers, I think that we would either we decide, okay, no, Discord is our Pirate Council chat, or it is our Kanban board, then we need to reorganize the Discord to make it that way. Or we can say, okay, we do need like a Kanban board and a Signal chat or stuff. However we do it, I do think that day-to-day communication about what is getting done would be really, really good, really cool, and what needs to be done so we can pass tasks along more efficiently. I'm in full support of that. Mitch.
All right, so I remember the thing I was going to say was just, and we're bouncing around on the subject matter, and I know we've kind of been consistent on one subject, so I apologize for moving on to a different area of 3-month activity. But I was thinking about things we can knock out right away, and I would like to see us have a candidate questionnaire written up, where anyone who wants to run as a pirate, hey, we just want to know these things of you, where you stand on these issues. Just because, you'd hate to say, yeah, of course we'll endorse you, and then they turn out to be, retweeting gays against groomers on Twitter. So I just wanna make sure that the people we have coming to the United States Pirate Party are following pirate core values. So I think getting a candidate questionnaire would be a great way to do it. And then in terms of in-person events, I don't think we should plan so boldly as to think that we'll have a single regional meetup. However, and I'm basing this on the model of March for Medicare for All, or Medicare for All, whatever the M4A was. They had a parade in different cities, and they just had regional people organize it. And I think, why can't we do something like that, but with the Massachusetts security camera search? So if we said, hey, on this day or this weekend, uh, we're going to have a surveillance camera mapping event. You can come to Chicago, or you can come to Indianapolis, or you can come to Los Angeles, or you can come to Philadelphia. Well, wherever we can have a pirate be, and just make that event. So it's not necessarily like we have to have a bunch of people meet up in one spot. We can ask pirates, what's the largest city you are comfortable traveling to for this event? And very like honest to God, it feels like that would be the way to do it, to make it as spread out but as varied as possible, and just give us an opportunity to. They'd all be acting autonomously in a sense, and it would all be, very regional, very local, but we'd still be able to paint it as a United States Pirate Party event, and I think that would be, that'd be beneficial.
All right, Yuri.
Sorry, Mitch. I'm so down for the security camera walk. I think it is something that we should do, and I think that is something that the way you described it would be wonderful, as sort of spread out across many major cities. Um, I wonder about the timeline. Is I guess the thing, right? I think, yeah, that's the only thing I'm a little bit concerned about. In order to not only give ourselves time, but also to give people time to make travel plans, to give, especially if they're traveling at all, to give people time to organize this at the local level. If this is like a 3 months out, I think that that's enough time for certainly some groups, and still worthwhile. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I just wonder, um, if that's what we're committing to. It feels like that's a significant. It feels like that's a significant investment, and I do want to flag here only that most of us are also the local organizers in our area. So like if we're trying to do, like it's going to be hard for us to do national stuff and local stuff at the same time. You kind of gotta you kind of gotta
If it, and I'm sorry, Drew, I do want to just cut in just to respond to that comment directly. Just, I think the benefit of this project would be that it's local stuff disguised as national stuff. I think it would essentially be all of us doing our own local thing, but it's the United States Pirate Party advertising it as one giant event, one giant map out surveillance, in your city. But in reality, no one but me is going to plan out the Chicago map surveillance. It would just be your own local, as many pirates who want to volunteer to be the guide, essentially. But I do expect, like, at least the major cities who can do it, I fully expect that they will. I'm sure Boston will be a part of it. I'm sure Chicago will. Philly, Indianapolis, like. But I just want to, the as simple as, it's a local event but disguised as a national event. That's as clear as I can just frame that.
Sure. Um, when is Talk Like a Pirate Day?
Oh, I have to double check with Talk Like a Pirate Day, but if the top of my head is correct, I believe it's September 19th. It is September 19th. I'm almost ashamed that I knew that. But no, yeah, it's September 19th.
Less than 3 months, but not by much. I Yeah, I think if we were to aim for that, it would be cool, but I also think it would be um I don't know. Yeah, Drew, I'm curious to hear your comments on this as well. So
My first comment, I have a comment and a question, and the question might be silly, but the comment is September 11th. That's when it needs to go off. That's when map the
you're right.
security cameras has to go off. Now, the
You're so
second
right.
part of it is there an app that we can just like do this? Does anybody know if there's an app for mapping these things out? Like you just go there and there it is, and
Yes,
then
yes, yes.
yeah, then we should probably. I mean, if there's an app for it, it's obviously it's a thing that you do all the time, that you can do all the time. But this would be like a great time, September 11th, to just be like,
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it seems to me like it's the best, best way to make a point. It's just like, hey, go out and walk around your town. It's just a general thing to everybody to just go out, use this app, walk around your town, and find new security cams or find the ones that are already in the system. Just to know where you are absolutely being spied upon.
I do want to jump in and comment. I think the date is an interesting idea, though I do have to wonder if that could get misconstrued, or if there would be there's always going to be a non-zero amount of people, but if there would be a significant amount of people who feel like maybe mixing the two topics is a bit wrong, even if our own government did it. Your
First off, they're already mixed. Second off, I mean, they're basically the same. They are so intricately linked. And moreover, uh, uh, the overwhelming amount of surveillance, um, like like the NSA and the CIA, um, uh, are almost. I mean, like these are some of our greatest selling points. They are almost universally derided, especially within cities. Um, uh, the TSA. No one likes them. No one likes them. And it all started the NSA and the TSA, right? That's they really got their big bucks from that. So yeah, no, I think I think Drew's idea is very, and I think as with any idea that could potentially be misconstrued, there are many ways to run the way we frame our verbiage around it to head that off at the pass, if that is even a
I
problem.
mean, just to kind of respond to you there, AJ, is I exactly kind of what Yara was saying is we're not making it about 9/11. We're making it about the consequences of 9/11, right? It's about the consequences. It's about of all, what, as the technology and things that have happened in this world over the past 25 years now. I mean, it's less than that for 9/11, but even the stuff from the mid to late 90s that has turned this world into what it is right now, um, you know, we need to make it about giving up freedoms and liberties and the things that the government has grabbed, it's taken. It's not, I mean, it's just that 9/11 was the trigger point for a lot of it, and so it's not really. I don't see how it can be. It could be easily spun into this is about the consequences of that event, no matter what your idea of that event is. So
I know Michael wants to talk. I, yeah, I just wanna say, I think it would be lovely if we can avoid, for the sake of the people who have to do the advertising and all of that, uh, I want us to have a successful event without us having to do a shit ton of work. And I am excited about the potential, as always, for not only this event, not only this idea, but also specifically the implementation of it that I'm hearing here, because specifically it's something that could be done very locally. It's something that could be done with small groups of people. It's something that wouldn't need a ton of national intervention, if any. So basically, we advertise it, we talk to people, we reach out to all of our groups, and we say like, hey, connect with your local people. Here's the resources, and then you do it. I think to that effect, what I would suggest is not even so much what Mitch was saying with the larger cities. I would honestly suggest, because there's security cameras in like every town, what I would honestly suggest, we have this mapping tool, is that we get some way of we find some way of making sure that pirates can more adequately, over the course of the next 3 months, connect with pirates in their local area, and we make that a priority. And if we successfully do that, then then they have this mapping tool. They have the ability and are encouraged to check in and meet up with pirates in their local area. We hold this event that is a destructured event, like it's all over the place. This event on September 11th, and then and then or maybe it starts on September 11th, and then I think over the course of the next week we might have some conversations about it, and then we can have like a celebration on Talk Like a Pirate Day of, hey, we did it. Here's some other conversations about other stuff. And it doesn't even, I don't think it needs to be a big investment thing. I think that way.
All right. Thank you, Yari. I think Joe had their hand up before Michael, but then Joe lowered it. Joe, do you want to go first? Hackathon's not a bad idea. Was that your hand raise? Because we should probably spend a significant amount of time on that idea. Okay. If anyone wants to comment on the hackathon thing, we can. Michael, you are next. I'm so sorry. I
All good.
feel now I have it in my head that I'm like, just like using Roner against you somehow, even though I don't even like Robert's. Now I'm like second guessing myself. Like, oh no, am I like it? Do I like have some kind of bizarre unconscious bias here that I wasn't aware of? I'm just
You're
gonna let you
fine.
speak.
You're fine. I just want to like clarify something. The mapping surveillance and the potential Talk Like a Pirate Day event, are those the same thing, or are they two different things, or is one leading up to another? Cool. Something to note about both days. Talk Like a Pirate Day is a Tuesday, so if I don't know if a virtual event was planned or an in-person event was planned, but if in person, I mean, even with virtual, I guess Tuesdays I think generally are harder to schedule around, especially with a lot of college students like myself. I know I've got like jazz ensemble Tuesday evenings this upcoming semester, and the 9/11 is a Monday as well, so just like in regards to planning, I don't know how much of a struggle or how much conflicts would get in the way with those days falling on those days of the week. It's just something to consider.
I think that that is something important to consider, which is also why I personally think that if we were to do the security camera stuff, I mean, due to my personal limitations, I would probably be looking to have it in Bloomington instead and getting IU people involved, rather than taking it to Indianapolis. Unless one of our Northern Indiana Pirates wanted to organize something in Indianapolis too. I mean, that would be even better, right? But no, I do. We should definitely keep those sorts of things in mind because our target audience, is and pretty much has always been young people, right? College students where we get a lot of our membership. So yeah, I mean that's always important to keep in mind. Mitch, you had your hand up. It's not up anymore. Are you? I will take that as a no or a not right
No,
now.
no, no.
Oh.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I am sorry. You started getting robotic on me, and then I realized you were talking to me. So I think that to answer a couple points, because Michael, you dropped around on a few things I wanted to cover. Talk Like a Pirate Day and the security surveillance event are two different events. I don't necessarily think one necessarily would play into the other than the fact that they're events that we're running adhering to like our ideals. I think that 9/11 going on a Monday to me, and it may not be an issue to you guys, but I feel like it may be better than to make it a 3-day event starting on the weekend and finishing on 9/11. But that's just me being a little anal about it. I don't think it's necessarily the end of the world that it's a Monday, but I thought that a weekend event would have sufficed a lot better. Talk Like a Pirate Day, landing on a Tuesday is whatever. That's nothing you can do about that. Marcus Rediker's old. I'm trying to get this done as soon as possible. So when you're looking at the events we have planned out, I think it would be really good for us to have like you ever see when a band goes on tour and they post a poster with their tour dates? Like we can very easily post like pirate party events coming up and have like here's an outreach meeting happening on these days, or the state outreach, and here's another state outreach, and then here's the surveillance, and then here's Talk Like a Pirate Day, and we can post that regularly. And when an event happens, low effort, we can just put like a red bar over the date that already happened. So we're advertising everything in one small swoop. The only thing I think we would need to have a little extra advertisement for would be the mass surveillance, and that's only because you'd want I think we would have to make like a map with like a star over each like city that you can take place, or like to Yari's point, if we could just get everyone to walk around in their city, that'd be cool too. But it's just that's all I had to say.
A quick point about the advertisement there. Mitch has a great idea there, and I know I would be happy to volunteer to make those any month or every month. And I'm pretty sure I don't want to volunteer V, but I know V has a lot of fun playing around with Canva, and I know I have a lot of fun playing around with my V's great with graphic design, and I enjoy futzing around with it as well. So yeah, I know either of us could easily do that. So that's it.
All right. Before I get to Michael, I will say, I think because Mitch is right about things not necessarily having to happen on 9/11 if we still decide that's a focal point, right? Because if you look at the model that Mitch is inspired by here, like the the M4A or other organizations. Organization is a weird word. Other movements like that, other events. The model is you just say, okay, we're going to have all of this going on within the same time frame, right? And then the individual events decide that's all right, Joe. Decide when they're going to have their things, right, based on their own schedules. We could totally say, okay, we want this to happen around September 11th. Plan what works best for you, and we get that information. We're going to say, okay, we'll do something, Chicagoland. Well, Chicago will have theirs on, that Saturday or whatever. Indianapolis, the Indiana Pirates will be, there on Saturday, but maybe in Bloomington on Monday, or Massachusetts can have it on Tuesday. I think that that would be okay if we're being inspired by the M4A model. That's kind of how they do events like that. Michael, you're up.
Something to comment about Mitch's idea of having the 9/11 surveillance event kind of fall over the weekend going into 9/11. Perhaps have if like we do the proposed like have it be that weekend leading up to 9/11. Perhaps we can have it end the morning of 9/11, 8:45, when the first tower was struck. Something to consider, or like play with something in the morning with the timing of the planes hitting each tower, and that maybe the towers maybe with the towers falling as well, the times with that. Just an idea.
I'm always down for symbolism, though the first time is a bit early, so I don't know what we could do with that. I don't know. I like the creative track. I think that also raises some concerns about respectability, but I like the thought process.
Maybe like planning like over the weekend and like having stuff like launch or something officially at that time. I don't know.
Man, I
see.
Oh, sorry, all right.
Oh, I'm into the idea, and I think it deserves more talk. And also, I want to be cognizant of the time, so this is me flagging the time. And I think, in terms of trying to wrap this up and move towards action items, because I think that's what I want to do. I think I want to I know that I am going to look at the mapping software that Joe sent, and I am going to of course continue with secretary onboarding, and I am going to look and see if we can find ways to help pirates connect with each other locally. What tools we can use for that. So if anyone has any ideas about that stuff, I think that would be useful. I think that's probably how I might be able to best support this endeavor, other than eventually writing out how-to guides, although I feel like Massachusetts already has a fair number of things around that.
All right, thank you, Yari. I think since you're talking about action items, we'll get to Mitch. I think one thing, if we're talking about changing how we're organizing the PNC specifically, and trying to figure out ways that we could all be snappier in our communication with one another, and sort of differentiate that from the way we do other committees with the Discord and things like that, it really might just be worthwhile to say, okay, tonight we're making a signal chat. I'd be on board with that. I think that would be a really smart move because, well, one, I think everybody, especially people who are older, just check their text messages more than they check their Discord app and take it a little bit more seriously. So that might just I feel like unconsciously that might help our productivity in a weird way.
I don't have Signal anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they stopped doing the SMS. That's an almost. I mean, yeah, there were a couple people I had on there that we were all hooked up in Signal, and the Signal chats were okay, but yeah, it lost a lot of functionality when the SMS stuff went away. Like for me, anyway. So I don't even have it on my computer or computer or phone anymore. So, but I do have Discord. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
All right.
do we just want to start a channel for the board or something like that?
We have like 5 of those that nobody
Oh, we do?
uses.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
That's the thing. It feels like I don't know.
Is there a group? Is there a group Discord
I
chat?
was gonna say I will create a group message right now. We will figure
That-
this out. This feels like something to happen. Not right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But yes, you're right. We need better communication. I don't know what else I was gonna say.
That's
Kanban board or I don't know, whatever it's called.
Kanban board, whatever it is.
That thing. I don't know.
The last thing I'll say about communication is, and this is just a throwaway
Mitch has
thing.
his hand up too.
I know. We'll get to Mitch. I want to finish out this topic. My last observation on organization is, I think our Discord server has, without us really knowing, become really bloated and not easily usable, to the point where I don't know if it functions really well as an organizing space or as a social space. And this really especially occurred to me when I visited some other Discord servers for parties, like, the Forward Parties server, the Libertarian Classical Liberal Caucuses server, and I realized, wow, they're kind of beating us at our own game. We were like the first party Discord server, and we've really fallen off. So I think that we might want to. This is just a Discord project. I would love to do more Discord reform. That's all. Mitch, you have your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to say that for the surveillance thing, I was just thinking about the coverage of it all. And again, if we did it over 3 days, and if we made it an all day thing, I'd be able to travel, do an hour or two in Chicago, get in my car, travel 2 hours, do an hour or two in another city, and do that a couple days in a row. I was just, and I'm sorry, that's more of a pertaining to my just free flow consciousness stream of thought, and I apologize, but I was just thinking that we can really cover some ground with the mass surveillance event if we do it correctly. And I want to acknowledge Yari's hand being up, but I also want to make a motion to adjourn.
I will
You're
second
good, Mitch.
that.
That's what I was about to say. So yeah.
There we go.
All right. All in favor?
Yes,
Um,
Yeah.
I
That is 3 official ayes and 1 from the New Jersey Observer. So
Oh,
that's
true.
that's better
Okay.
than it's just the bylaws. That was just the bylaws. But I will say that
That was consensus.
that was better than unanimous.
I just heard eyes, and I'm like, all for it.
I'm so sorry, Michael. I don't know what's gotten into.
AJ.
All right. I no, I do feel bad because I've been
Don't worry about
accidentally harping on the secretary thing, and it was no slight towards you. I promise. It's just
You're fine. I took no offense. throughout
AJ,
the whole night.
AJ,
Mhm.
are we
Don't be
still
too hard on
streaming?
yourself.
Yes, yes. This is part of
Probably.
this is part of our casual banter we do to convince everybody
okay.
that we're
We're
like
cool.
populist and humanist or whatever.
Cool.
I'm going to stop the stream now. Good night, everybody. Vote pirate. Join our Discord server. Follow us on Twitter. Hopefully, we have other social medias too in the future. That needs to go on the plan. We have a bunch of those just sort of in waiting. Have a good night, everybody. And we are